Okay. So the Real Estate Service Act, no? Good morning, all. Good morning to all. Republic Act numbers 9646, no? And the implementing rules. Ito yung topic ko ngayon. And the Real Estate Service Act, RA 9646, was enacted by Congress, no? And signed into law on June 29, 2009, no? And it became effective on July 30, 2009. So take note that the law has been existing for about 13 years already. Yes, 13 years already. And we will try to revisit what has happened during the time that this law has been enacted already. Okay? So this law was passed, no? Ginawa po ito, sinabatas po itong Real Estate Service Act under the police power of the state, no? So remember that we have three inherent powers of the state. Number one, yung police power, which is the power of the state to enact laws for the welfare of the people, no? Salus populi, less suprema lex. The will of the people is the supreme law. And ang purpose talaga is to regulate, no, some activities in the country, and that is under the guise of the police power. Meron tayong eminent domain. Remember yung mga road widenings natin? This is under the power of eminent domain. Now we also have the inherent power of taxation, which is the lifeblood of the government to collect taxes, no, to raise revenues for the use of the government. Now itong RESA law nga natin is under the inherent power of the state, yung police power. It is called RESA law. Yan ang abbreviation. If we ask ano ba ang RESA law, yan po yung Real Estate Service Act, ha? It regulates and restricts the practice of real estate services. So when it regulates and restricts the practice of real estate service, it is under the inherent power of the state to regulate and restrict. Kasi may nakikita silang importance in the practice of being a real estate service practitioner. Yan po, yan, no? And then, it also carries a penal sanctions and provisions in case of violation. So may kulong provision po tayo dito. That is why it has these implementing rules that must be published in the UP Law Journal at saka yung sa Official Gazette because of that kulong provision. So any and all violation of under the provisions of the RESA law, you will be meted this penalty of fine and or imprisonment. All right, so before going to that, let us discuss this declaration of policies, right? Now, the declaration of policies under the RESA law by the government is that, ang sabi ng government, ng state, no, is that the state recognizes the vital role of the real estate service practitioners in the social, political, economic development and progress of the country. Now, we are happy because we are now recognized na meron pala talaga tayong vital role, no? Yung mga practitioners like us, no? In the social, political, economic development and progress of the country. Nakaka-contribute tayo ng malaki para sa kaunlaran ng ating bansa. So, it's very nice that we are recognized in this law under the declaration of the policies of the state, no? And the real estate service practitioners now promotes the real estate market, stimulate economic activity, and enhance government income from real property-based transactions. So siguro, with all these statistics and analysis made by the government, it realized that we have a very important function for the progress, the growth, and development of our country. In fact, Statista, one of the in its website, no, posted that for the second quarter of 2021 alone, there was a 126 billion per capita income for the country on real estate transactions. So, nakita talaga importance, no? Imagine, 126 billion second quarter pa lang ng 2021. Meron na tayong ganyang kalaking na-contribute, no? As a whole, ang buong Pilipinas na pagbenta ng mga real estate service practitioners. Kaya nga, for this year, sa business world, sabi nila, this is a good start for our Philippine real estate this year. And yes, it's a good start for you also, aspiring real estate service, real estate salespersons to participate and become one with us in, promoting the economic activity, enhance government income from real property-based transaction, and become a part of the real estate world, no? Makatulong tayo sa ating sarili, sa ating family when we gain income, and at the same time we can help also the government, no, achieve its goal to become again the tiger of Asia, as they say. All right, now ito po yung statistics and facts ng Statista, no. Ang website nila po, courtesy po ito sa kanila sa Statista Research Department, October 8, 2021, no. Sabi nila that the real estate industry is a key driver of the Philippine economy, which added up nearly 126 billion Philippine peso as of the second growing middle class population and the sustained remittance of Filipino workers abroad. So, in fact, marami rin pong karamihan nagbibili po yung mga OFWs sa labas, no? Sila po yung nakakontribute, no, by sending money to purchase properties here in the Philippines, no? So yung purchasing and investing power of the properties had been gradually increasing in recent years. So marami po talagang nag-i-invest sa real property. All right. Now, the state through proper and effective regulation. Kaya pumasok ang state, no, to regulate us through proper and effective regulation and supervision aims to develop now real estate practitioners who must be, number one, technically competent, number two, responsible and respected. Well, very good term, responsible, because we have to be responsible not only to ourselves, but also to our clients, to the government, to the public at large, and even to our organization. But what is nice to analyze in this law is the word respected. Kasi honestly speaking, you have to be clear about this. For quite a time already, almost all the practitioners, no, they're called ahente, kabenta ng lupa. The respect bestowed upon the practitioners, no, has been somehow very low, no. So ang purpose ng batas is that to make us respectable in our profession. That's why kailangan ng real estate service practitioners, which includes the salespersons, being accredited by the PRC. So pumasok ngayon ang profession. We are now considered our field as a real estate service practitioner as a profession. So a profession po, it is a respectable profession. All right? So maganda po itong ang analysis nila that we should be respected also in our field of selling. That's why purpose sa state ngayon, i-regulate tayo, i-supervise tayo, magawin tayong responsable at irespeto po tayo ng ating mga tao na nag-transact sa atin. Alright? And must be globally competitive in the standards of practice and service. Globally competitive in the sense that we could not only limit ourselves dito sa local setting, but we could also practice, no, in other words and in other areas of the world, and probably other practitioners from other countries may tap us, no, if in case that they would like to invest here, their clients would like to invest here in the Philippines. Take note that ang dami pong nag-i-invest ngayon from China, Europe, Germany. They wanted to put up factories, especially now with the advent of the passage of the Foreign Investment Act, wherein there are some businesses now that allows 100% foreign owned, like for example the telecom, diba? So when they try to invest here in our country, they have to put its structures, and when they have to put its structures, they need to find real properties, and that's where we come in. Okay, and when these foreign investments come in, they will have to look for real estate service practitioners, and they may also be represented by practitioners there in the country, and they have to talk to us, kakausapin tayo. That's why we have to be competent, responsible, respected, and globally competitive. All right, so that in all of this, ang purpose is to promote the growth of the real estate industry. So a domino effect niyan, it would make you, well, stable. You will have a stable income. It will help the economy. It will help people to have plenty of jobs, opportunities, no? By creating. Hindi lang natin mapansin, but the things that we are doing in the real estate world has this domino effect. Like, for example, when one sells a real property, let's say a big property, and well, he gets the commissions, he earns, kita siya ng pera, and nabenta niya yung property, but he doesn't realize that nung nagtayo na ng mga buildings, factories ang nakabili, it employed many individuals para mag-work doon. And therefore, with that in mind, what happened was that you also contributed to the employment rate of the people. Hindi mo lang alam, you started it, by the end of the day, nakakontribute ka na doon sa pag-unlad ng lugar na yun, taxes being raised and received by the local government units kung saan allocated, by even the national government. No? So yun po, kaya ang vital masyado ang role nating real estate service practitioners. Para tayo kasi yung foot soldiers, we initiate things, we do things, then the moment we complete and finalize everything, na purchase and everything, it doesn't end there. Because the buyer would definitely try to develop the area. So yun po ang ating tulong sa growth of the real estate industry, as well as to the income of the country. All right, so proceeding, let us try to discuss some definition of terms under the RESAL. Definition of terms. Number one, itong appraiser, no? Also known as the valuer, refers to the person who conducts valuation appraisal. Ito yung tao na possess the necessary qualifications, license, ability, and experience to execute or direct the valuation appraisal of real property. Very important po itong mga appraiser nito. In fact, as a practicing lawyer, I have talked to many appraisers, licensed appraisers, to do to become expert witness in my cases. No? And I am fond having Engineer Al Nonato as one of the respected real estate appraisers here, and he is considered as one of the experts pag mag-testify po siya doon sa witness stand. No? And yeah, he's very good, no, in making appraisals. No? And of course, itong assessor, wag niyo pong i-confuse yung sa assessor sa appraiser. No? Ito po yung assessor is the official in the LGU who performs appraisal then and assessments of real properties, including plants, equipments, and machineries, essentially for taxation purposes. Kaya nga, meron kayong tax deck makita, may assess value sila doon, yun ang assessment nila. And then, ma-assess din nila kung how much ang market value. Remember that a tax declaration is very important. While it's not a proof of ownership, that is a basis that the person occupying the property is paying the real property tax or the amilyar. No? And that tax declaration is also one of the bases for which the government base their determination of the price for, let's say, for purposes of capital gain tax at documentary stamp tax. No? So yan, lahat ng tax declaration, ang assessor po ang gumagawa niyan. Is very important figure in the real estate industry. All right, and of course, we have this definition of a real estate. Okay, it refers to the land and all those items which are attached to the land. Take note that kapag magbenta ka ng lupa tapos may bahay doon, kasali po ang bahay. Hindi ko pwedeng lupa lang ibenta mo, hindi kasali ang bahay. Because real estate refers to the land and all those which are attached to the land permanently or appears to be permanent. Like for example, kung nagtayo po kayo ng best tank doon, yung tangke ng tubig na malaki, tapos naka-bolt siya, pag ibenta po yan siya, kasali po yung best tank. Okay, because that's part of the real estate. Because it is attached to it, it becomes an immovable property, and therefore, it forms part of the sale transaction as part of the real estate. Okay, do not forget that. And then another thing is itong real estate development project. No, itong real estate development projects is development of land for residential, commercial, and industrial. No, at meron din tayong agricultural. And meron din tayong for institutional purposes, recreational, tourist resorts, reclamation projects, and even memorial parks. No? So yan ang real estate development project. And in these projects po, pwede po tayo pumasok as a real estate service practitioners in selling, no? Selling these properties and even leasing these properties. Marami po ang ibig sabihin po, no? Malawak po ang field pala ng real estate. No? Hindi lang po benta po. It includes leasing, mortgages, etc., which we will discuss later on. All right, that is the real estate development project. And then we have this real estate developer. Ayan. If you are under a certain developer, like Ayala, Suncruz, Philinvest, Santa Lucia, Santos Land, they are the real estate developers. No? They refer to any natural or juridical person. Natural, ibig sabihin tao talaga, or juridical person is corporation engaged in the business of developing real estate developments project for his or its own account and offering them for sale or lease. So, pwedeng ibenta, pwedeng mag-lease. They are considered as real estate developers. So, yung mga condo projects, no? Yung mga horizontal and vertical projects, subdivision properties, okay, condominiums, yun po ang real estate projects ng real estate developers. Now, tanungin natin, sino naman yung mga real estate practitioners under the RESA law? Okay. Number one is the real estate consultant. This is the highest in the field of real estate practitioners because parang yun na yung cream of the crop. You become a real estate consultant. Ba, talagang meron ka ng belt sa yung katawan, but say that I am the consultant. No? It is a registered and licensed natural person who, for a fee, no, ibayad, compensation, or valuable consideration, offers or renders professional advice and judgment on, number one, acquisition, enhancement, preservation, utilization, or disposition of lands and improvements thereon, and the conception, planning, management, and even development of real estate projects. Sometimes they are being employed by real estate developers to conduct this planning on how to put up this condominium. So malawak na po yung kaalaman nila. Karamihan din ng mga real estate consultants are also real estate brokers and real estate appraisers. But take note that a real estate consultant lang, no, ang kanyang license, cannot sell real properties unless if he is also a real estate broker. Kasi pwede kasi hindi niya i-renew ang pagka-real estate broker niya and he remains a real estate consultant. Hanggang diyan lang po, advice lang siya. Pero may fee pa rin and compensation. Alright? At yung real estate appraiser, ito naman, sabi nga natin, ito yung registered and licensed natural person who, for a fee, again, compensation or valuable consideration, performs or renders or offers to perform services in estimating and arriving at an opinion on as an expert, no, or acts as an expert on real estate values, wherein such services shall be finally rendered by the preparation of the report. Meron sila natawag na appraisal report, no? I have seen the appraisal report made by Engineer Al Nonato, real estate appraiser. Ang ganda, book-bound, merong mga charts, tapos merong mga comparison, tapos may mga pictures and everything of the projects. Ang ganda, very nice appraisal report. Talagang globally competitive. Talagang technically competent talaga siya. And talagang very respectable ang dating niya. And if you will present it, talagang mamangha yung mga investors. No? That's why you have to keep up. And he has kept up in his practice as a real estate appraiser. Take note that in order to become a real estate appraiser, like a real estate consultant, kailangan mag-start kayo as real estate broker. But the moment you have these two belts, no, with you, pag ayaw mo mag-renew ang real estate broker mo, tapos real estate appraiser ka lang, hindi ka po pwede magbenta. Appraiser lang po ang pwede mong gawin. So they cannot sell. You must be a real estate broker. All right? Okay. So proceeding. So ito yung real estate broker. Okay. A duly registered and licensed natural person who, for a professional fee, commission, or other valuable consideration, acts as an agent or party in a real estate transaction of a party in a real estate transaction too. Yan na. Ito yung pwede nating gawin as a real estate broker, practitioner, or real estate salesperson. Offer, advertise, solicit, lease, promote, mediate, negotiate, or effect the meeting of the minds of the sale, purchase, exchange, mortgage, lease, joint venture, or other similar transactions on real estate. Malawak po talaga ang field ng real estate, no? Ng practice natin. So, pwede nga ng mortgage, lease, joint venture. So, marami. That is the work of a real estate broker, and he's paid for a fee. Usually in the form of commission. And the minimum would be the 5% commission for the real estate broker. Or other valuable consideration. Kasi may iba, ang binabayad sa real estate broker, lupa. Is that allowed? Yes. Mabayaran siya ng land because of his services, that is allowed. Because that is considered as a valuable consideration. Now, where will you come in? Dito po kayo sa real estate salesperson. Ito po yung a duly accredited, hindi po licensed, no? Natural person, hindi pwede corporation, who performs service for and on behalf of a real estate broker. So, ibig sabihin, gagawa ka ng trabaho in behalf of your real estate broker. Okay. Parang extension ka ng real estate broker. You are considered as a liaison or an extension of his hand in negotiating for a sale transaction. All right. Who is registered and licensed? So, kailangan yung real estate broker nyo must be registered and licensed by the PRBRES, no? Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Service. And for an expectation of a share in the commission, professional fee, compensation, or other valuable consideration. Ibig sabihin po, pag kumita po ng 5% si broker at ang usapan ninyo is you get 2% of that, that is your share in the commission or the professional fee. If the broker has been paid 200,000 or 100,000 for conducting due diligence, and then you share for that because you also work with him, let's say you get 20%, then you get 20,000 of the 100,000. Or compensation or other valuable consideration. Pag lupa ang binayad sa kanya, may share din ka ng lupa. So kung binigyan siya ng 1,000 square meters sa Eden, tapos ang usapan niya is 20%, edi may 200 square meters ka din. That is your share for working for and in behalf of a real estate broker. So maganda po, no? Ang real estate salesperson. Now take note that the relationship between your broker and you as a real estate person is fiduciary. No? It's based on trust and confidence. Hindi naman na, on my part, no? Hindi lahat ng broker just tanggap lang ng 20 ka-book salesperson and they would say that these are my salespersons without knowing these people. Ako, on my part, I select the people whom I trust, because this is a relation of trust and confidence. Tapos gusto ko yung may transparency. All right? We'll come to that, discussing the relations of this real estate broker and a real estate salesperson. All right. Proceeding. Ang implementing agency po ng RESALO is itong Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Service, which is under the Professional Regulation Commission. So ang PRC po, maraming mga boards yan. Merong nursing board, may medical board, merong architectural board, maritime board. Tayo, Professional Regulatory Board of Real Estate Service, PRBRES. Yan ang bossings natin. No? Siya yung nagmamanman, nag-check sa ating mga real estate service practitioners if we are complying the RESALO, the implementing rules and regulations, and the code of ethics and responsibility. Okay. But take note that ang boss din nila, or they are under the supervision of the Professional Regulation Commission. All right. So the salient powers of the PRBRES are as follows. Marami po ito, but I highlighted those I think are very, very important for our discussion. The first one is yung supervision and regulation of the registration, licensure, and practice of real estate service in the Philippines. So, they have to regulate yung pag-register, yung mag-take ka ng examination, magpa-license ka, and yung even the practice itself, no, kung paano ka magsagawa ng profession natin as a real estate service practitioner. And in fact, they could issue, suspend, revoke, or reinstate even after may notice and hearing sila. They act here as a quasi-judicial body. They hear cases, no, of complaints against a real estate practitioners na pwede silang masuspended, pwedeng ma-revoke or ma-terminate ang kanilang license. Pwede rin sila mag-hear ng application for reinstatement. Kung na-suspend sila or na-revoke ang license na, pwede rin silang pa-reinstate. They're showing good behavior, good moral conduct, ganyan, no? And also, they monitor the conditions affecting the practice of real estate service. So they always look at it, whether or not yung practice po natin, yung as a real estate service practitioners, constantly monitored by them. Okay? And they have to assure the maintenance of the high professional, ethical, and technical standard. Take note, high, yung pinakamataas na professional, ethical, and technical standards nating mga real estate service practitioners. And they adopted a code of national code of ethics and responsibilities to be strictly observed by all licensed real estate service practitioners. Tapos, as I said, as a quasi-judicial body, they hear and investigate any violation of the RESALO and the code of ethics. And they safeguard and protect legitimate and licensed real estate service practitioners. So take note of that, yung protect legitimate and licensed real estate service practitioners, because meron din po silang quasi-judicial and investigative powers to eradicate, tanggalin, the pernicious practice of unauthorized or unlicensed individuals finally and completely. They are fondly called as colorums in the real estate business or real estate profession. So, well, they exercise quasi-judicial functions. They could hear and decide on these matters, no? Especially if a broker, a licensed real estate broker, is working with a colorum, that is where they exercise the quasi-judicial power against that particular broker na nag-engage with a colorum or a non-licensed or non-accredited agent, no, performing real estate services. All right? As well as yung pagpatanggal nito, yung problem kasi natin, ito yung colorum. Bakit ba ininitan yung colorum na yun? Not only by the the PRBRS, but by the RESA law itself, is because of the yung tinatawag na responsibility and respect. In most cases kasi, yung mga unlicensed, they have no knowledge of the basic laws, as well as the code of ethics, as well as the other laws pertaining to real estate. On your part, when you are now a real estate service practitioner, as a real estate person, you'll be constantly attending seminars and trainings just like this, which often 90% of which are actually studies of law. So ibig sabihin, magkakaroon kayo ng knowledge and training on this as differentiated to those who have not, yung mga unlicensed. So therefore, you are more responsible than them. And responsible in the sense that mapipigilan natin yung pag-akyat ng maraming kaso sa korte dahil nga sa, ang interest kasi ng karamihan ng mga colorums is just the commission or the fee. They are not interested kung okay ba ang dokumento, proper due diligence and everything. Basta as long as mabenta, fights na yan sila. Problema nyo na yan kung may nakita kayo doong problem sa papeles. So the issue of due diligence alone, which is the responsibility of each one of us before engaging in a real estate sales transaction, is there. Yun ang dapat nating masunod at talagang magampanan bago natin i-offer sa ating kliyente. And we have to inform them kung mayroong mga flaws and problems on the properties after the conduct of the due diligence. In most cases, pag hindi pa ma-proceed ang sale because of your findings, well, that's the risk of the job. But at least we have performed our role as a responsible real estate service practitioner. Now, aside with that, we gain the respect, trust, and confidence of our client. Whereas in the colorums or those unregistered, since they're only interested to get the commission or their share in the process, minsan marami yan sila eh, magtapok-tapok na sila, daggan kayo. The respect given to them by the clientels and the publics are not that somehow high. No? Kaya a purpose ngayon is to, hindi naman sinasabing everyone is invited to participate and become a practitioner. By being a broker, you want to study, you're a real estate person, attend seminars. Everyone is invited. Yung ayaw talaga, then that is where PRBRS comes in. That's why si PRBRS po, nagawa ng memorandum or resolution forming what we call this Bantay Colorum Task Force, for which our double board is a member. No? And with that, pasok na yung mga kanya-kanyang advertisements on these colorums. No? You know, notices to the public, Bantay Colorum, Stop Colorum, Beware. Always yan, di ba? Nakikita natin sa Facebook. And these are the advertisements that we see, because everyone is very, very on their toes, no? In helping the eradication of this pernicious practice of these unregistered or colorum agents, no? Of real properties. Kasi karamihan, you'll notice, you just sell without even, when you ask them what are the documents and everything, they cannot even provide. Sabi na, basta sir, yan ang ginabenta namin. So, yan, that is our work. No? Now, each and every one of us has contributed. And probably you also, you can contribute by inviting your friends who want to attend the seminars and become a real estate salesperson. Invite them to be part of the legitimate, the real estate industry. Kaming mga brokers, may kanya-kanya kaming mga advocacies. No? Others keep on posting on the Bantay Colorum Task Force, make comments on SMS, etc. Lahat kami, may kanya-kaming advocacy. Ako naman, what I contributed was I created the video and posted it in my blog sa YouTube ko. By the way, it's the lecture room of Attorney Raymond Batu. And I made this blog on, scam nga ba ang rollouts for sale, data-data hulugan? Yeah, I made many enemies out of this. Maraming galit sa akin kasi yung mga unlicensed. But sabi ko, no, if you are doing it right, then you not have to be afraid. And I have to do it. It's my responsibility as a licensed real estate service practitioners to inform the people, the public, about these rollouts being sold by unscrupulous developers who are not actually developers, do not have any license to sell, pati yung mga ente-ente nila, yun ang magaling mag-post sa Facebook. Lote-lote, data-data. No? So I made a video of that. No? Scam nga ba ang rollouts for sale? Data-data hulugan. You could watch it if you want. Now, of course, the ultimate ambition of every one of us would be to become a real estate service practitioner. And of course, let us see if you can become first a licensed real estate broker. License, hindi accredited. Okay? All right. So sabi nitong kaibigan natin, do you want to be a licensed real estate practitioner? And if yes, I will discuss this. All right. What are the requirements muna? Basic requirements would be that you must be a citizen of the Philippines. Sinabi po citizen of the Philippines, hindi sinabing natural-born Filipino citizen. So, ibig sabihin, a naturalized citizen may become a licensed real estate service practitioner. Okay? Must be a holder of a degree of Bachelor of Science in Real Estate Management, BS in REM. Yan ang tawag nila. Now, if you're a graduate of a different course, accountancy, marketing, management, political science, four-year course, well, my advice, if you want to become a licensed real estate broker, kasi alam ko marami man sa inyo mga four-year course dito. Hindi lang kayo BS in REM. Meron pong nag-offer ng online classes to take units, no? In real estate management. Basta four-year course graduate kayo. And I think for about a year or ilang semesters lang, you will earn a diploma and therefore you will now be a holder of Bachelor of Science in Real Estate Management. And that would qualify you to take the real estate broker's exam. Hanapin po niya yung online courses. Maganda yun. No? Hindi na kayo mag face-to-face. Okay. I think si Sir Bong, yung isa sa aming favorite lecturer. Yeah, then the BRFI noon, siya ang nag-hold siya ng classes niya. You inquire from the double board about that. No? We may be able to assist you. Of course, you must be of good moral character. Kung bugoy-bugoy ka, marami kang kasamaan na ginawa, hindi ka pwede dito sa profession na ito. And must not have been convicted of any crime involving moral turpitude. Ano ba yung moral turpitude? Some kind of crime na a person would analyze and cannot comprehend why you have done it. No? It is not only bad behavior but something rooted na napakasama mo talagang tao, like mga rape, murder, robbery, extortion, kidnapping, di ba? Now, there is one case decided by the Supreme Court wherein said when you are convicted of the crime of violation of BP 22, yung bouncing checks law, that is a crime involving moral turpitude. Yan. So, careful of that. No? Baka meron kayong convicted kayo dyan sa bounce checks. That is a crime involving moral turpitude and you may not be able to become a licensed real estate service practitioner. And pag-aralan natin ano yung mga subjects, no? Kung gusto mo maging real estate broker, ito. Dami, no? 1 to 14, fundamentals of property ownership, code of ethics, legal requirements, real estate brokerage practice, ecology, urban rules. If you will notice, no, if you will read this from 1 to 14, real property laws, subdivision development, it's actually about 95% are laws. Talks about laws. No? So imagine that when you have this basic knowledge of these laws, you are a responsible person and a respected person in the field of real estate. Kaya yung mga lisensyado po, alam po nila itong mga basic nito. Because they have passed this one. Take note that the grade that you should have should be at least 75%. And pero dapat in each subject wala kayong less than 50%, no? Kasi pag maabot kayo sa ano niyan, 49%, kahit na 80-80 ang inyong total average, no, as a whole, bagsak kayo niyan. Kasi no grade less than 50% on each of these subjects, no? So take note of that. All right, proceeding. Once you pass the real estate broker's exam, you will be given a certificate of registration. Meron kayong diploma and as well as a professional PRC ID as a real estate broker, and it's renewable every 3 years. Okay, right? So yan ang start, no? Ginaengganyo ko lang kayo po, no? I know you just want to be accredited for now, but you may think otherwise. What if I will proceed? Ayan. Kailangan ko lang pala ng Bachelor of Science in Real Estate Management. Marami pong mga schools dito sa Davao na nag-offer niyan. I think University of Mindanao, Holy Cross are offering these subjects. No? Tapos kung doon naman sa mga graduates, tapos units na lang kailangan nyo, then you attend the online classes for that. Look it in the internet, sino yung nag-offer. All right. Oh, Academy in Makati full online. Okay. iAcademy. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Chichina. Okay. So that's it. And then, of course, ano ba yung mga grounds for the revocation or cancellation or suspension itong certificate of registration? Itong sinabi natin, itong dalawa, no? For and the PRC ID. Ito yung mga grounds, no? Ito yung huwag gawin ng mga licensed practitioners. Kasi, you will be stripped of your rights to practice as real estate service practitioner. Hubaran ka ng karapatan. Hindi ka na makapractice. And if you would still practice without the license, you will be held liable under the penal provisions of the PRESA law. Okay. Number 1, procurement of certificate of registration by fraud or deceit. Baka kasi hindi ka ba naman talagang qualified or nakapasa, gumawa ka ng mga kalokohan at nakakuha ka nitong certificate of registration by saying that I have not been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude. Yung pala, isa ka pala parte sa kaso na nangyari noon na you were convicted, no, of a crime involving moral turpitude. So you procured or were able to get the certificate of registration passing the board exam by fraud or deceit. Deceitful conduct by not disclosing this fact to the Professional Regulations Commission. All right. Of course, itong allowing an unqualified person to advertise, unlicensed. Okay. And to practice the profession by using one's certificate of registration. All right. So we will have a technical break for a while. let us proceed after this short break. Itong unprofessional or unethical conduct, meaning to say that you have committed a violation of the code of ethics. That is considered as a ground for revocation, cancellation, or suspension of the certificate of registration and PRC ID. What else? Itong malpractice or violation of any of the provision of this act implementing rules and code of ethics. And number 5, engaging in the practice of the profession during the period of one suspension. Well, if you are suspended, the licensed professional is suspended, tapos let's say for 6 months, and within that period, you practice, you engage in selling, your suspension may become permanent and it may become a revocation or cancellation. Therefore, it is very important that you do not practice during your period of suspension. And your suspension is not automatically reinstated. The moment you are suspended, you have to apply for reinstatement to become reinstated in the practice. Yan ang rule. So be careful about that. Okay. Now, is this practice natin is reserved lang ba ito para sa Pinoy, Filipino citizens? How about these foreigners who would like to sell in our property, come into our country and be a real estate service practitioner? Pwede po under the principle of foreign reciprocity. Kapag in their country, we are also allowed to practice there. And if they were allowed, then they may be allowed here. No? They may be given a temporary or special permit to practice here in the Philippines. All right? Pwede yan. So what are the acts constituting the practice of real estate? Okay. Take note that sabi ng RESA law, yun daw nakasaad sa Section 3G. Yun po ang pag-perform by real estate service practitioners shall constitute an act of engaging in the practice of real estate service. All right. And what are those? And number 1 are the real estate practitioners. Sabi nga natin, yung consultants, the acquisition, enhancement, preservation, utilization, or disposition of lands or improvements, the conception, planning, management, and development of real estate projects. Whereas for appraisers, yung pag-estimate and arrive at opinion of or acts as an expert on real estate values, which services shall be finally rendered and prepared in a written form, no? Yung tinatawag nating appraisal report. And for real estate brokers, and of course, ito yung nag-offer, advertise, to solicit, lease, promote, mediate, negotiate, or affect the meeting of the minds on the sale, purchase, exchange, mortgage, lease, or joint venture. Sa field ng mga real estate brokers, which the real estate sale persons are actually under, medyo malawak ang field ng real estate brokers. No? Because, and that's true, mas malaki ang commission, ang fee. No? Imagine for if you'll be able to sell a property worth 100 million and you have 5% of that, then you get 5 million. So let's go down to 10 million. That's 500,000. Diba? Laki, bagay yun. And bilisan lang na transaction. And once you have just completed what we call yung due diligence, no? To protect your client, then consummate ang sale. Then you get this fee. And if you're under that the particular licensed real estate brokers, then you get a share in the commission. So dito po sa ating images, kayan po kayo yung maraming hawak, no, kasi assistant man kayo. Kayo yung tagawak ng cellphone, ng iPad, ballpen, may kontrata. Taga-timpla pa ng kape. Joke lang yan. But what I'm trying to say is really is yung talaga mga salespersons, yun yung mga masigasig. No? These are the enterprising people talaga. Talagang mas magaling pa po kayo actually kaysa licensed real estate brokers in some cases, in some instances. Yeah, the licensed brokers also depend on you. And yeah, we appreciate the service ng mga real estate salespersons. So, having said that, do you want to be an accredited real estate salesperson? Okay, madali lang naman eh. Bakit? Kasi wala namang examination na kailangan. And kailangan lang natin accreditation lang ng PRBRES, no? However, but number one, must be at least 2 years, have 2 years in college. Proof niyan is yung transcript of stenographic notes. Tsaka yung trainings and seminars in real estate, which you are doing right now, no? And number 3, you must be under the direct supervision and accountability of a licensed real estate broker. Yan. Yun lang naman ang tatlong kailangan. Now, maraming nagpalag talaga nitong 2 years in college. At least 2 years in college. Paano po daw yung high school graduate? And the truth is, in some instances and in most cases, yung hindi pa nakapagtapos, yung talagang napakagaling magbenta. You know why? Because they are not afraid na mabilad sa araw. They are not afraid to talk to people because they want to earn. Now, if we educate these people more and become part of our real estate service practitioner, it would be better. Problema lang, sabi niya, sir, hindi ba pala kami pwede maging real estate salesperson? Trabaho namin ito. Ito talaga ang nakagista namin. High school graduate lang ako. Or nasa high school lang ako. Now, there is a bill passed by being proposed to become a law na to amend this provision na 2 years in college. And pwede na po yung under TESDA NC2. Yan. Parang yung mga you'll be considered isang option yun na pasok ka sa TESDA pag-aralan. So may school for that. I hope that would be it would include already those who are not at least 2 years in college. Pero wala pa. For now, 2 years in college, trainings and seminars sa real estate, and must be under the direct supervision and accountability of a licensed real estate broker. All right. Now, what are the prohibited acts for real estate salesperson? Ito lang po ang hindi nyo pwedeng gawin talaga, no? Number 1 is that you cannot be a signatory without the supervising real estate broker. Kailangan nandoon yung real estate broker. Ibig sabihin pala, kung magawa kayo ng offer to sell, or magkaroon kayo ng authority to sell, or magawa kayo ng offer to purchase, offer to buy, pwede kayong pumirma. Pero dapat na sa baba, nakapirma din yung licensed real estate broker ninyo. Maganda, no? Para kayong sa ilalim, doon yung approval ng inyong supervising licensed real estate broker. You can only be signatory with that, no? Kung meron sila kasali. And you cannot negotiate directly or indirectly on your own behalf. On your own behalf. Hindi. Dapat meron kayong permission sa real estate broker ninyo. Supervising real estate broker. Sir, meron po tayong potential client and potential buyer who wants to buy this. Oh, sige, go ahead. Sino yan siya? Ganito, ganito. Okay. Disclose mo. Okay. Proceed. Okay. And you cannot negotiate directly or directly without the PRBRES accreditation. Of course, you must be accredited. No? Bawal po yun. And if you try to connive with a real estate broker license, that broker will be guilty of violating the act for employing or utilizing the services of real estate salesperson when he has not secured the required accreditation from the board. But however, the broker also would not be liable if he has no actual knowledge of such violation. Kailangan talagang may actual knowledge ang broker na alam niyang unqualified yung nagtatrabaho sa kanya at pinayagan pa rin niya. Cannot demand for a fee, commission or compensation without the participation or involvement of the broker. Kasama, kasi you just share in the commission. It's not the other way around. Nabigyan nyo ng share yung broker. Now, if you are not accredited, and the broker would say na, hindi ko kasi alam na hindi siya accredited. Sabi niya, nagsabit siya ng form. The broker may not be liable. However, if he retained the benefits, yung profits or proceeds of the transaction, wrongfully negotiated by the salesperson, he will be liable under the result. And that's the problem. Okay? So what are the requirements if you want to become a real estate salesperson? Medyo bahaba-haba ang requirement, no? Pero kaya natin ito. Salesperson accreditation. The original documents that must be submitted are as follows. Yung PSA Certificate of Live Birth ninyo. Take note, huwag kalimutan, isali po ninyo ang resibo, yung official receipt. National Bureau of Investigation Clearance, updated year 2022. Okay. Certificate of Educational Attainment or its equivalent. Certification ng school nyo or wala yung transcript of stenographic notes. Transcript of records. Ano ba yan? Kala ko nasa court na tayo. TSN. So, transcript of records. Yan. And the notarized certificate of training or seminar. Take note that you'll be given a certificate of training or seminar here after you finish this 3-day seminar. And you must have it notarized. Okay. And of course, yung notarized certificate of their supervising licensed brokers. Yung certificate ng supervising licensed brokers allowing you to be under them, kailangan notaryado din. Yan lang. Okay? Yung NBI clearance that would prove your kasi kung may hit ka, makita doon na ang kaso mo is rape, sana hindi, no? Or ano ba, robbery, extortion, hindi ka na pwede. Hit ka. Pagpasa mo yan doon sa PRC, rejected ka na because merong involvement ng moral turpitude. All right. And then, what else? Okay. Ano ba yung mga exemptions from the acts constituting the practice of real estate service? So, hindi mo kailangan ng lisensya, hindi mo kailangan ng accreditation, pero pwede kang magbenta, mag-lease, etc. Pwede yan. Ito, number 1. Yung any person who shall directly perform by himself or herself, no? Kasi kanya yung property. Benta niya yung sarili niyang bahay, lease niya yung sarili niyang bahay. Kailangan mo ba ng license dyan? Or accreditation din, na? Sarili mo man yan. Except yung real estate developers, no? Kanila may-ari yan, pero ginabenta ng labisla. Iba yun. Because they are habitually engaged in the business, no? Pero kung ako, meron akong bahay, benta ko, ilis ko, hindi na yan. Hindi na kailangan. Right? And then, yung mga receiver, bankruptcy, insolvency, siyempre. Yung mga person acting pursuant to order of any court of justice, okay, you're directed to convey or to execute a deed of conveyance, silipat mo yan because you committed wrong. Hindi na kailangan ng license yan kasi court order na yan. Ito ba, i-highlight ko itong naka-green. Any person who is a duly constituted attorney, in fact, for purposes of sale, mortgage, lease or exchange, or other similar contracts of real estate. Yan, attorney, in fact. Meron kang SPA. Pero, kailangan, ang rule dito sa last is that without requiring any form of compensation or remuneration. Like for example, a client of mine who is in the United States authorizes the anak to sell the property registered under the mother's name, tapos to sign for him, to sign for her, yung anak na ang pipirma dito. That is through a special power of attorney at ang attorney in fact niya yung anak niya. Wala nang bayad yun. But the moment meron pong bayad, then you're acting now as a practitioner. Even if SPA ang hawak mo, kailangan mo ng license. Ibig sabihin dito, agent ka or attorney in fact ka ng principal. Pero walang bayad. Pero pag may bayad, hindi siya exempted. Kailangan mo license ka or accredited. License broker ka or accredited salesperson. Okay? Tsaka yung mga public officers in the performance of their official duties, yung mga sheriff, they will announce dun in public that the property is for sale kasi na-foreclose. Sigaw-sigaw mo yun sila dyan sa labas ng court. Alauna, alas 2, alas 3, alas 4. Magsimula na ang bidding sa foreclosed property ni Juan de la Cruz filed by the Philippine National Bank in the amount of any bidders. Alauna, alas 2. Then, if you'll notice, there is one person in front of the sheriff nakaabang doon. Yun siya yung magbibid. In most cases, kung sino yung nag-complain for foreclosure, yun siya magbibid. Bibigay siya ng sealed bid. Pwede rin mag-bid yung nagkautang. Kung mayroon niyang kaya na niya bayaran. Para hindi ma-foreclose ang property niya. So, yung sheriff na yun, na nagkakandak ng bidding, and the question is that, is he liable? Is he exempted? The answer is yes, under this particular provision. All right? All right. Let us proceed. The provision against the unauthorized practice of real estate service. No, 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 no. You cannot do that. You practice or offer yourself as a real estate service in the Philippines. You offer yourself as a RESP. Thus use the title, word, letter, figure, any sign, realtor ka, REV ka, RESP ka, salesperson ka. Hindi pwede po if it tends to convey the impression that you are a real estate service practitioner. Patik-atik ba? Hindi naman pala. Okay? So you will be prosecuted in violation of the Real Estate Service Act, yung resalo natin. You are prohibited to advertise or indicate in any manner whatsoever that you are qualified to practice the profession. Bawal mag-advertise. Yung mga naga-for sale, contact Agent Ling at 0917. Agent Lane. Di bande siya Agent Ling. Agent, di pala siya license, that this is an authorized practice of real estate service. Di ka pwede i-appoint as property appraiser or assessor, national or local government, unless you pass the licensure exam. Yan ang mga prohibition against the unauthorized practice of real estate service. All right. In the practice of the profession, you have to remember that the real estate service practitioners, especially the brokers, must state the certificate of registration, PRC card, yung PTR, at saka yung iPhone number namin. So, kung meron pong offer to purchase or offer to sell si boss natin or supervising real estate broker ninyo, boss, makalimutan mo sir na sa ilalim ng pangalan nyo, you have to put the certificate of registration number, license number nyo, PRC card, etc. PTR number. Ako, ginagawa ko, in-scan ko yung aking PRC license real estate broker na valid until 2026 pa, 2024. Touch ko yan siya below my name, pati PTR number, sulat ko. Para maganda natin, kasi may picture na rin doon, di ba? Pirma ako. Sa babaw, yung aking salesperson. Yan. Yun ang requirement under the RESA law. How about this IPO? Discuss natin yan later on. Na merong ibang mga brokers na they form corporations or partnership, no? And register nila sa Securities and Exchange Commission. Tinatawag na corporate practice of the real estate service. Well, kailangan registered with the SEC. Kailangan is a license talaga yung mga nandoon sa partnership and corporations. We're out yung nag-a-act for the partnership, nung nagbebenta talaga doon. Kailangan mag-submit ng mga requirements, commission. But itong number 4 ang pinaka-importante. There shall be at least one licensed real estate broker for every 20 accredited salesperson. Kasi nagkaroon talaga ito ng issue. Okay, there was once an instance wherein one person wanted to have as many as unlimited number of salespersons. And this has been settled that by the courts that ang one licensed real estate broker, 20 lang po talaga ang under sa amin. Yeah. Hindi na pwedeng more than that. This is not unconstitutional. This is part of the regulation. Kasi nga naman, kung under me is 1,000, paano ko ba ma-regulate? Paano ko ba ma-supervise yung mga salespersons under me, di ba? At least 20 kasi, kaya mo na yung ma-supervise. Diba? Ilalam mo na yung lahat 20. Yan ang purpose ng boss. Kaya nga, sa mga corporate, sa divisions or departments of partnership, yung engage in marketing, dapat may full-time registered and licensed broker sila employee. Sun Life, sa SunTrust, Ayala, yung benta ng mga sa Tuslan, pero yan sila. Licensed real estate broker. Saka yung mga branch offices nila, kailangan it must be manned by a duly licensed real estate broker, appraiser, or consultant. Okay, let's go and proceed to the IPO, no? Itong Accreditation Integration of Real Estate Service Association. Yung IPO, yung Accredited and Integrated Professional Organization. Well, actually, maraming mga associations tayo ngayon. Meron tayong RIBAP, meron tayong PAREB, meron bang PILRES, and marami pang professional organizations. No? It doesn't mean that kapag meron na tayong accredited and integrated professional organization, isa na lang, hindi ka na pwede maka-join ka pa rin. Katulad po sa amin, mga lawyers, parang ang IPO namin is itong Integrated Bar of the Philippines, IBP. And isa lang po ang IBP namin. But it doesn't mean na hindi kami pwede sali sa ibang mga lawyers organization, yung free legal assistance group, etc. We can join that. Pero isa lang talaga yung nag-dominate at saka nag-supervise sa amin at saka nagmo-monitor sa amin under kami ng Supreme Court, yung Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Yan ang parang IPO equivalent natin dito sa namin sa real estate service profession natin. Meron na ba tayong IPO? Wala pa tayong IPO. And the clamor is that we should have this IPO para magkaroon lang tayo ng isang organization that would supervise, monitor us. No? Of course, under the supervision of the PRBRES and PRC. Still, wala pa tayo niyan. Kaya, I hope magkaroon na. Para, and you know, if you are a member of the IPO, doon ka magbibigay ng parang membership fee every year. Then you will be entitled to the benefits and privileges as a member of that IPO. Now, I do not know if kung accredited salespersons are required to be part of the IPO also. As far as I know, only those licensed real estate service practitioners. All right? And then, what else? Okay, itong pinaka-importante, itong penal and final provisions. No? Yan. So, ang violation daw ng act, no? Any violation of the act, including violations of the implementing rules and regulations, shall be meted the penalty of a fine of not less than 100,000 or imprisonment of not less than 2 years. No? May kulong provision siya. Tapos kung the violation is committed by an unlicensed real estate service practitioner, the penalty shall be double the aforesaid fine imprisonment. So, ibig sabihin, magiging 200,000 ang fine, tapos ang imprisonment niya is not less than 4 years. Imagine that. Or both such fine and imprisonment upon the discretion of the court. Eh, kung talagang laganap yung gawa mo ng pagbentahan, talamak na wala talagang marami kang na eh baka ang gagawin ng judge yan is both fine 200,000 plus preso ka for 4 years. Ayan. Now take note, any violation of this act, that would also include the licensed real estate service practitioner employing an unlicensed one. So imagine that. And the problem is that ito sana ang gusto kong tutukan ng aming board, yung PRBRES, and everyone else to disseminate the information about the RESA law. Because this is a very important thing na malaman ng lahat. Kasi baka hindi alam ng lahat eh. Meron tayong batas. Although, violation of law excuses no one. Ignorance of the law excuses no one from compliance therewith. No? Sabi mo, ignorante ako, hindi ko alam. Hindi naman pwede ma-excuse yan. Nobody is excused from compliance because of ignorance of the law. So, yun sana tutukan yung proper dissemination of these things para hindi mo. Katulad lang yan nung violation of coconut, cutting of coconut trees. Hindi man alam ng mga taga-bukid na bawal maputol ng bigla na lang, meron na silang supina, warrant of arrest. Kasi under the law, violation of cutting coconut trees. Walang masyadong dissemination nangyayari sa public. So how would the public know that what they're doing is prohibited? This is a special law kasi. This is a special law as compared to a regular law like dun sa revised penal code, yung murder, rape. Alam mo natin, by nature, without even stating that there is a law about it, alam natin bawal magpatay ng tao, bawal mang rape, di ba? Bawal mang manakit ng tao. We don't need to be properly informed about that because that's by nature, alam natin which is right or wrong. Pero mga special laws like this, dapat sana merong yung dissemination campaign by the government. Now, there is a question sa akin, isa sa mga kaibigan ko, what if daw, meron daw kontrata in writing ang unlicensed real estate service practitioner. And in writing is that he is entitled to a commission of 5%. Now, he was able to proceed with the sale transaction at nabenta. Ngayon, hingi na siya sa 5% niya. Where is my 5%? Ayaw na siya ngayon bayaran ng seller. May-ari ng lupa. Bakit tayo magbayad? Ayaw ko lang. Ayaw ko magbigay sa iyo. Pero natay kasulatan. I know, I don't want to pay you. And so, he went to court. That unlicensed agent went to court and filed the case for collection of his commission. Now the question is that, can he claim commission? Now, my legal opinion on that matter is that no, he cannot. Why? Because a person violating a law cannot claim because of that. So you claim to have a commission, but you are not licensed to do it. Even if it is in writing, you cannot claim the commission. Para sinasabing, if you come to court with clean hands. So you are going to court and demanding that you be paid, but your hands are dirty. Why? You have violated the provision of the Real Estate Service Act, which is that you are not a licensed real estate broker or a accredited real estate salesperson under a licensed real estate broker. So quits, tabla-tabla. Baka pailan ka pa ng kaso because there is now proof that you engage in selling when you are not allowed under the law. Provisions ng RESA law are actually more on regulation and checking into the works of the real estate service practitioners as well as the unlicensed. Kaya nga, meron siyang penal provisions, strict regulations. And a question now is that, may ginagawa ba naman ang ating implementing agency on this? Marami na bang nakukulong? With a span of 13 years to since 2009, is that marami bang na put into jail? Now, I've been observing, and many are saying na wala man. It is a toothless law. Toothless ba? Walang ngipin. Umrag, isog lang kayo paminawon, pero may madakpan. Ana, sila ba? But I've been scouting around and I have seen a few cases filed in court. Violation under this RESA law. Even violation under PD 957. Maramihan doon yung nahuhuli sa mga naglolote-lote. So patong-patong ang kaso nila, estafa, PD 957, tapos itong RESA law, etc. Tapos, pero hindi talaga yung marami, no? Katulad sa special law on violation of the use of yung illegal drugs. So, marami talagang nahuli yung special law na yun. But this one, itong sa RESA law, despite the fact that there have been many tie-up relationship with different police organization, even the NBI, merong mga MOA. Pa kaming DBRFI, may MOA kami sa NBI. Against this, no? Kaya magulat sila, meron palang batas na ganito. Hindi rin nila alam. But are they trying or exerting so much effort to catch these people on their own? Pag walang complainant, they will not basta-basta mag-move. Yun ang observation ko ba? Now, I'm trying to think, why is it like that? Maybe because hindi pa talaga dangerous ang situation now with respect to the colorum, or maybe because many colorums are now into accreditation and or becoming licensed real estate service practitioners. Or that is it the stand of the government na we have to educate more in people so that kukunti na lang yung maiwan? Maybe the eradication of this pernicious practice of this unregistered and unlicensed real estate service practitioners may be curbed by itong ginagawa nating training, seminars, education. Maybe. And at the time comes that talagang ready na ang government to move on its own to catch this yung matitigas na ulo, despite the fact na may offer for training sa kanila and everything, hindi rin lang ginagawa. Maybe. So, let's wait and see, no? But nevertheless, if I file a complaint and I will cite the violations under the law, well, the government authorities cannot do anything but to accept my complaint and file the case in court and push the issue and probably send that person in jail. Ang problema lang din is konti lang din ang nagko-complain. Konti lang ang complainants, no? Mabilang mo rin kung sino na nagreklamo. So, hindi lang dito sa government ang issue, but also with us, the public, the practitioners. If we find kasi na people violating the RESA law, sometimes we do not mind. We don't mind. Parang mind our own business. So. And then they still continue doing that. Hindi man tayo nagko-complain. So, hindi na i-file. Ganun lang po yan. Alright, so, before I will proceed with my next topic, no, yung topic ko po is, I would like to discuss some provisions of the Code of Ethics. I know it will be discussed later on also, but I want to discuss it because it is part kasi na if you violate the Code of Ethics, it will violate the RESA law. And if it violates the RESA law, then you may be convicted on this, no? May penal provision kasi. So I have to discuss this. And yes, ito nag-flash in yung screen. This is my lecture room. Maybe you would want to follow us, no? For a free lecture, video lectures on many things, no? This is scan. And I will end for a while and I will open my lecture, quick lecture lang, doon sa Code of Ethics so that we could proceed. Admin, may I ask permission to share my next topic? Okay, so do you see my here, share screen tayo ng Code of Ethics for Real Estate Service Practitioners. Okay, ito pong topic natin, itong Code of Ethics and Responsibilities for Real Estate Service Practitioners. Take note that I am going to discuss quickly because this is part of the what is stated under the RESA law. No, kasi pag may violation doon ng Code of Ethics, ibig sabihin, you violate also the RESA law. Sino ba ang nagawa nitong Code of Ethics? Bakit ba kailangan itong Code of Ethics nito? Because this is our guide when we transact not only to your clients, with your clients, but to the public, the government, as well as the public at large. Ayan. Kasi that is how you how you present everything with respect to Code of Ethics. No? Yung responsibility mo for the real estate practice. All right. So let us proceed. Now,
wala pang
Code of Ethics po
screen na
was promulgated by the PRBS, and the basis for the enactment of this code is itong Republic Act 9646. No? And the preamble of the Code of Ethics is that it's created by the PRBRES, adopted and created by the PRBRES. Sabi nila dito, ang real estate service practice daw is a honorable profession. And it is a calling to strive for excellence with a vital role in the social, political, economic development and progress of the country. Now, I'm a little bit surprised with the word calling. Panawagan daw yan. Parang tinatawag ka ng calling ba talaga ang ano? Hindi ba lahat ng tao marunong magbenta? Hindi lahat para sa atin ito. Parang yung nursing ba? Yan, calling yan. Becoming a nurse. To become a teacher. To become a doctor. Calling talaga yan. Kailangan interest mo yan. Now, ang tingin po ng PRBRES is that itong being a real estate broker as a honorable profession is also a calling. Hindi lahat pwedeng magbenta. And I think I believe in that a little, in the sense that I've been a broker since 2009, and maniwala kayo sa hindi, mabilang lang sa aking fingers na nakabenta ako within that period. I am more of a lawyer, troubleshooting legal real estate problems, but when it comes to selling, parang hindi ko calling. But I still continue to renew my license as a real estate broker. Hindi talaga ako marunong magbenta. So I believe na yung skill on how to sell, like Ma'am Leah Walker, one of the top real estate service practitioners. Talaga skill yan eh. Parang charisma yan eh. Yeah. It's not for everyone, but it's nice to be part of it. Okay. Ede kung katulad ko, hindi ko man magaling magbenta, magdikit tala ako doon sa mga magaling magbenta para ano tayo, makasali tayo sa kanilang kanilang makashare sa kanilang biyaya na a calling to strive for excellence with a vital role in the social, political, economic development. Kasi ang aspiration nila, yun nga, to produce, develop, and nurture. Nurture, parang alagaan. A corps of technically competent, responsible, and respected professionals whose standard of practice shall be nationally and globally competitive. Wow. Very high ambition. And can we get it? Can we achieve it? And I think yes. Okay. So ano ba scope and coverage of this code of ethics? No? Well, of course, the real estate consultants, appraisers, assessors, brokers, salespersons, and juridical entities engage in the practice of real estate service. So included po tayo dyan, yung real estate salespersons. No? Covered po kayo sa Code of Ethics. Now, the general provisions and declaration of principle, of course, remember, you uphold the Constitution and all laws of the Philippines. Basic po yan. So, ibig sabihin, all laws of the Republic of the Philippines, pati ang mga konting batas sa mga slander, mga ganyan, huwag po tayo mag-violate, no? Mga malicious mischief. Even ordinances, because these are considered as laws. You have to exercise utmost integrity, fidelity, and responsibility. Imagine, no? Integrity, taasin natin. Yung walang masabi sa yung tao, na yung ayaw na siya ba, how can na manulot? Yan. You have to keep your integrity. Kaya sabi nga nila, yung integridad natin nakababaw lang eh. Napakaliit lang po ng integrity natin. Kapag matouch yan siya, fragile yan siya, madaling mabasag. You have to keep it intact. Protect it with your life. Yan lang po kapital natin, integridad. We don't have the integrity, then nobody will trust us. No client will come to us. At the end of the day, you'll be left alone. Fidelity, tiwala mo, trust, responsibility, sincerity, respect, and courtesy. You have to comply with the policies, rules, and regulations on PRBRS and PRC. You have to uphold the generally accepted local and technical, international technical and ethical standards. And promote the values of camaraderie. Grupo-grupo rin tayo. Merong yatang group ng Association of Real Estate Salespersons. Ganda yan. You be a part of that and you promote camaraderie with your friends, with the other real estate service practitioners. Yeah. Unity, solidarity, and synergy. Parang tulungan ba? Teamwork tayo. That's what I do. Every Friday, invite pa na ako for the real estate service practitioners to come in my office, 3 o'clock, kape-kape kami dyan, kwento-kwento, usap-usap ng listing, ganun lang good. Loko-lokohan, kanta-kanta. Wala namang kantahin wala naman yung si Danny Olalo, yung aming magaling magkanta. Wala na, hindi na pala kami nagkakanta. Kwento-kwento na lang, coffee. So the professional rules of ethics and responsibilities po. Remember, meron po 5. To the government, to the public, to the clients, to fellow practitioners, and to the accredited integrated professional organization or tinatawag nating IPO. Dito po sa government, you have to set a good example as a responsible, law-abiding citizen. And you have to secure all the necessary licenses, permits, and authority as may be required by law, ordinance, rules, or regulations. You shall pay the correct taxes and fees required by law. Shall not encourage, tolerate, or participate directly, the evasion or illegal reduction in the payment due to the government. With that, we have this question. I have this question for all of you. If the client says that we have to undervalue this one so that we will pay lesser taxes to the government, is that evasion, tax evasion, or illegal reduction in the payment of the capital gain tax and doc stamps due to the BIR or to the government? And the answer is yes, because undervaluation to reduce the impact of capital gains and documentary stamp tax is considered as tax evasion. Then you violate here the Code of Ethics. Yan. Sabi naman nila, sir, kung masakpan, yan nga, kung mahuli. But legally and technically speaking, as I said, you have violated the Code of Ethics. And you may be prosecuted under the RESA law. Right? So take note of that. So iba po yung tax avoidance and tax evasion. Tax avoidance kasi like, for example, in estate, payment of estate tax. In order to avoid the payment of huge estate tax, you can apply the standard deduction. Under the train law, 5 million. Tsaka yung mga deductions on donations to the government, yan. Yung family home, up to 10 million. Para magliit yung gross estate, o yung tax base for the net estate, yun na ang basis ng estate tax payment. That is a tax avoidance allowed under the law and provided even by law as allowable deductions. Whereas to undervalue, to change the or configure the true selling agreement of the parties, that is evasion. Ang totoong usapan is 10 million. Ilagay mo sa deed of sale 1 million para mababa ang tax. And that is considered as a tax evasion. It's a violation of our Code of Ethics. All right. Your duty to the public. Ayan. You shall contribute to the promotion of for the common good by engaging in social responsibility activities and initiatives. Well, kami dito sa DBRFI, we have some projects yung, by the way, you could be members of the DBRFI, you would want. Meron kami mga projects yung mga tree planting activities namin because we care for the environment first. Meron po kami yan. And number 2, you should cooperate with the government in protecting the public against fraud, misrepresentation, and unethical practices of unlicensed and authorized individuals or parties. Pag maging accredited real estate salesperson kayo, obligasyon niyo ito sa publiko. And you must enhance your proficiency and expertise through latest trends, involvement in CPD, as well as ito mga trainings and seminars natin. Or pwede po ko to impart knowledge, technical training, experiences, studies, or research. Yan yung, like what we are doing right now, that what I am doing. I am imparting my knowledge, my modest knowledge on this laws, no, on real property laws. No? Training, experience, studies, or research, gawa kami ng libro. That is a compliance to our obligation to the public. Now, to the clients, ano ba yung obligasyon natin sa kliyente natin? You must be honest and trustworthy. Observe sincerity, impartiality, fairness, and loyalty in his professional practice. Sabihin niyo po lahat, kahit na you would possibly lose the sale transaction. Because after due diligence, you discover that there is something wrong with the paperwork. You have to be transparent and honest enough to inform your client about it. That you found out that meron pala siyang encumbrance, meron siyang maliit na encroachment. Sabihin po niyo lahat ang pros and cons ng property. Pagkita niyo sa due diligence niyo, sir, ito po ang problema, nakita ko, ito po. And mind you, your honesty, you will be rewarded. Possible for this particular transaction, hindi matuloy. Dahil because of your honesty. But you have preserved your integrity, your competence, the respect you're able to gain, the respect of your client. You know what the client would say? Okay, hindi natin tuloy yan. Hanapan mo ako ng iba na mas maganda. Imagine that. When in that particular transaction, you may have other participating accredited salespersons and brokers license. Now, dahil hindi man matutuloy, pahanapin ka ng iba. And you could purchase, you can let your client purchase on your own, exclusive na tuloy. Imagine that, because of your honesty, trustworthy. You have to exercise good faith in protecting, promoting the interest of the client. Kasi unahin talaga natin, number one, yung interest niya. Yan talaga ang purpose kung bakit tayo nire-regulate ng RESA law. Bakit tayo nire-regulate ni PRBRES? Because we have to protect the transacting public, the client. Iwasan natin na magkaroon ng problema para tapos magkaroon ng problema, mag-clog lang dockets ng court kasi magkakasuhan sila. Now, remember that we have this client practitioner confidentiality. Anything po under the sun that you will learn about your client, you are prohibited to disclose it. Pareho po yan kapag magkumpisal kayo, mag-confession kayo sa pare. Ang pare, hindi niya pwede sabihin ano yung mga kasalanan na sinabi mo sa kanya. That is what we call privileged communication. Katulad po yan nang nagkukonsulta sa akin ng problema. Even ang asawa ko, kapatid, anak ko, hindi ko pwede kwentuhan. It is considered as privileged communication. Katulad po yan ng doktor, kapag magsabi kayo ng sakit nyo sa kanila, hindi ko pwede magsabi ang doktor na ito si ano, yung sakit niya ganito. Bawal po. Pwede po kami matanggalan ng lisensya niyan. Ganon din po sa atin at sa inyo. During the transaction, you were able to gather information about many things about this client of yours. You are not allowed to disclose that. You are not allowed to tell other people about that. You keep it to yourself. That is what we call client and practitioner confidentiality. You're bound with that privileged information. You're not allowed to disclose that to anyone else, even to your spouse, sa asawa mo, kahit sa kamag-anak mo, sa nanay mo, sa tatay, sa kapatid. No, 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 no. You have to fully and truthfully disclose all pertinent and material facts involved in the engagement. Sabi ko sa inyo, sabihin nyo lahat. Sir, hindi pa ito pwede bilihin itong agricultural land. Bakit po? Sabi ng may-ari, anong bibili? Kasi sir, we need 1 more month, sir, kasi CLOA ito, sir eh. Magdating na yung 1 month niya, next month pa, pwede tayo makaantay konti. You've been honest to disclose that. Yung iba naman kasing maldito ng mga practitioners, i-delay-delay nila kaya para maabot ang 1 month. Para madayon ang transaction. Huwag ganun. You are not truthful. You have not disclosed all the pertinent and material facts involved in the engagement. That is your obligation to the client. Primordial po yan. Right? Your professional fee should be fair and reasonable. Paano natin masabi kung ang professional fee is fair and reasonable na i-charge? Now, if a property is being sold at 100 million and the fee that you would ask would be 1%, is that fair and reasonable? Yes. Suppose it is 5%. Is it fair and reasonable? Yes. Because it is still within the standard or the acceptable fee you are allowed to collect. That is the minimum of 5%. Minimum po yan. I tried in one instance to say that my fee is 10%. Is that fair and reasonable? It still would be. As long as the client agrees and you have to inform them that the minimum standard rate is 5% for commission. What would be fair and reasonable depends upon the circumstances. And in most cases, it would be the owner of the property who pays you that commission would say na, mataas masyadong fee mo, pwede babaan. And that's the time to negotiate. Okay? So, fair and reasonable. You should not accept professional fee or valuable consideration from other parties unless with full disclosure and permission from client. I had a situation like that before when I was able to sell the property to a large developer here, and the developer said, happy siya sa akin. Attorney Raymond, I'm going to give you this, a bonus sa'yo, 1 million. Sandali, parang I was tempted to, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? So I talked to my client, yung nagbigay yung seller. Ma'am, may bonus po daw ako, bigyan ako ng bonus ng kabila. Okay lang ba tanggapin ko? Baka kasi, baybahan kayo ba? Baka isipin nyo, nag-double blade ako. Ayun, tanggapin mo yan. Attorney, sa'yo that you deserve that because you worked for that for years. Tagal ko rin gina-trabaho yun. Yeah, at least you have to disclose before you accept from the other party. Because remember, when you are for the seller side, you should be under the seller side. When you're in the buyer side ka. But there are instances kasi that mahappy rin yung kabila na part kasi sa iyo and they would like to give you. Usahin na, style na yung papitik, bigay ng ganun. Patago, under, bigay sa iyo. Na. You have to tell always your client that you were given by the other party. Okay? To avoid the interpretation na baka hindi na-protect ang interest ng client because binayaran ka sa kabila. Yan. Baka isipin nung kabila na nung pente mo, baka na-short change ako nito kasi binayaran siya sa kabila. Baka mali ang negotiation ko nito. Baka napamahal ito. Ganon. You have to disclose that information. Okay? You have to be transparent. Right? Now, to fellow practitioners, your obligation to fellow practitioners is that you must act with fairness, justice, and good faith. You have to respect the dignity, honor, good reputation, and privacy of fellow practitioners. Makasamahan nyo ba? And use or furnish transactional documents only upon the written consent of the practitioners. No? Respeto po ang pinaka-importante. Kasi marami man tayo. Others kasi, they treat other practitioners as competitors. Hindi sana ganun ang concept. We could work as one kasi. We could be united. We can become a team and be united. No? At hati-hatian natin ang proceeds o yung profit or commission from our joint efforts and work. Tulungan tayo. So kung ang hati is, ang iba kasi, maldito manggod. Buyer and seller. Biglang sabihin nung malapit ang transaction, ay hindi pala ito buyer side, seller side, ha? Three-way. Yung pala kanya, two-way kanya, sa iyo one-way. Gusto niya mag-claim ng two parts, i-declare niya ng three-way. That's greed. That is not fair. That is, you are not acting in good faith. Paghati-hati. No? And of course, yung kabila, if he is earning well, he's very good and everything, you have to respect the dignity, honor, good reputation, and privacy of fellow practitioner. Alam mo, ang pinaka number one nakikita ko, ito. Yan ang problema natin. Okay lang sana kung mag-marites tayo kung ang pinag-uusapan natin is yung mga listing. Kaya at least, magbunga yan ng maganda kaya makabenta tayo. Pero kung yung mag-marites tayo doon sa personal life ng fellow practitioner, ay kana siya, dagan na siya halin kay Kailangan, kay gina-date man niya yung, that's not good. Do not do that. You have to respect your fellow practitioners. Avoid being a marites. Right? And lastly, itong obligation natin sa IPO, sana nga meron na tayo para magkaroon tayo ng participation sa programs ng IPO. Mayroon tayong procedures on mediations, grievance, and conciliation. So, I hope meron na tayo niyan, but still wala pa rin. So, with that, I've done quickly, and that would be fully explained later on. Now, if you have some questions, I will now turn